Hello and welcome everybody. It is Amanda Rose, your Director of Media for Archer Travel Service, and today we are so happy to welcome back during Holland America Line and Seabourn Week, Preston. How you doing, Preston?
I'm doing quite well. I'm really grateful to be back with you guys again today, just to go a little bit more in depth than what we have with both Seabourn and Holland America Line.
Yeah, and we're really excited to hear what you guys have to share. Just before you get started, though, I want to let everyone know if we do have time for Q&A at the end, put those questions in chat anytime, and we will ask them to Preston. Then, if we don't have time for Q&A, we'll tell you how to get those questions answered. Also, this is recorded, and you can review this at any time at your leisure in the Travel Cafe website under the Trainings Hub. So, Preston, without further ado, let's get started.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Amanda. Again, thank you for having me today. Again, my name is Preston. I am your BDM for both Holland America and Seabourn. So today we're just going to start off with Seabourn and then we'll go into Holland America line, just kind of work our way from the smaller ships up to the bigger one. So with that, again, I'm going to start off with Seabourn. So really here at Seabourn, we believe traveling for pleasure has a profoundly enriching and inspirational power on your life. We believe in traveling well, experiencing the finest luxury at sea across some of the world's most interesting destinations. And we really believe it's not about what you do, but why you do it and why you travel. And that's what we really try to focus on with Seabourn. So let's just talk a little bit about what our ships look like and go over them now. So this is starting off with some information about the ships on our fleets. Our ships are what we would call considered small in the cruise industry, where our biggest ship has only around 600 passengers. So this means no waiting in lines, no giant crowds. You don't have any of that somewhat of a floating Vegas casino feeling. Our small ships really let us get into some of those really tight remote waterways that a lot of the bigger ships can't get into either. And then we have 6 different ships, and we have them on 3 different sizes. We have either a small, medium, or large. Starting off with right here, you see our largest ship, which is the Seabourn, Encore, and Ovation, which are sister ships, which look exactly the same. And they're at 600 passengers, and they're typically in places like the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, and Hawaii. And then just going up to our next size of ship. So this is our Seabourn Quest and Sojourn. These are our 450 passengers. This ship typically sails to places like Alaska, the Mediterranean, Japan, and Southeast Asia, and does a little bit of Canada and New England. So I just showed you what 2 of our more ocean liner yacht style cruise ships are with Seabourn. Now I'm going to show you what is considered our expedition ships. So these are our 2 brand new ships that we've built with Seabourn. They were both built in 2022 and 2023 respectively, so almost brand new right on the market. And they're 264 passengers at the most. And these are our expedition ships, and they're going to be going in places like Antarctica, Alaska, the South Pacific, the Kimberleys of Australia, and places along those lines. And then we do have a voyage that also goes over from Iceland over to Alaska as well that takes place on these expedition ships. Just a little bit more about them. These are the ships that have those kayaks and those 2 6-person submarines that I somewhat mentioned yesterday, where you can really get it underneath the water and get a different perspective of the marine life, the glaciers, and those ice shelves as well. And they also, of course, have the historians, geologists, marine mammal experts. That is our team of expedition leaders to really help you guys get the most out of these expedition journeys when you're with Seabourn. So we're going to go into a little bit about what the Seabourn difference is. So with this, on Seabourn, you can expect an all-inclusive experience. So every room is also an oceanfront suite. So every room on board is also an oceanfront suite. That means each one of your room is going to have a suite. So it's going to have a sitting area, not only in addition to like your room area. And then about 70% of our rooms are all going to have a veranda or balcony. But then the other 30% of the rooms are going to at least have an ocean view. So there's no inside cabins when you're with Seabourn. You're always getting some type of a view, and you're always going to have that suite style room when you're on board. They also include walk-in closets, marble bathrooms, and each one of those marble bathrooms also comes with 2 Jack and Jill. It comes with a Jack and Jill sink, so you have 2 sinks in there, so both for his and hers, and a bathtub. Then again, we have those elegant living areas with the sofa and dining table as well. And then of course, this is one of our larger suites, our penthouse suite right here. And the balcony on this room actually wraps all the way from that very far left window all the way to the very far right. So that all that you're seeing right there across those four windows is just that one big balcony on one of our signature penthouse suites. So, like I mentioned, it is an all-inclusive experience when you're on board with once you get on board with Seabourn. So all the dining venues are complimentary. You can dine when, where, and whomever you want to, and then all the premium spirits on board as well. And then, of course, you have room service that is available 24/7, and you do have an in-room steward that's available, in-room steward or butler that's always available to help you. And they're very, very anticipatory and get to know you pretty quickly. For example, like last time I was on Seabourn with my family, I brought my parents on board, and my dad really only likes one type of beer, which is Sam Adams. After only mentioning it once and basically only drinking Sam Adams that first day, the next day my dad's fridge was completely filled with nothing but Sam Adams. So they really try to make sure that whatever is, and of course that fridge that's in your room, the mini bar is also complimentary as well. And they always try to make sure once they get adjusted to who you are and what your tastes are, they always try to make sure it's exactly what you want in that mini bar and what you're looking for. So here are some of the dining options we have on board. So of course we have over here on our top left our main restaurant, and then we also have our Seabourn Square, which is kind of like a coffee bar area for you to really get some of the like high tea service and something along those lines. Observation bar, you'll also get some high tea service over there as well. And then we also have our sushi restaurant, our Earth and Ocean, which is our typical steak and seafood restaurant, and then a Colonnade as well. So just to go over a little bit of what I just mentioned, the Earth and Ocean. So this is typically our, it's an outdoor venue that's actually right there on the pool deck. So at the evening, we actually shut down that pool and it's right there. So you're getting a really great evening experience where you can actually have an informal dining right underneath the stars. And if we're in a colder destination, we also bring heaters right next to your table. So you don't have to worry about being cold or anything like that. And for example, like while we were on the Seabourn cruise recently, we actually ate at the Earth and Ocean 7 out of the 11 nights that we were on board because it was really just that phenomenal. And then we're actually introducing our new restaurant as well. So this is our brand new restaurant, which is called the Solis. This is a Mediterranean themed experience, but not in addition to the Mediterranean cuisine you get on board with this, you also have a rotating menu that's based on the destination you're in. So if you're like in Italy or France or anything along those lines, you'll have a rotating menu that's going to match the destination you're in. So you can also take that culinary journey on board with us as well. And kind of like I mentioned earlier, so all the complimentary premium spirits and fine wines are available at any time that you would like. Just talking about a little bit about that, we also have complimentary champagne and caviar at any time that you want as well. So for example, like while we were on our Seabourn cruise, we were actually celebrating my parents' 35th anniversary. So while we're on there, my dad, as kind of like a little bit of a special thing for him, is we had caviar and champagne delivered to my parents' room every day at 5 p.m. and it's 100% complimentary. And you can get it anytime and anywhere you want on board the ship. So whether you're hanging out by the hot tub, whether you're hanging out on the pool deck, if you want some champagne and caviar, you have it right there available whenever you need to. And then just kind of touching on that service as well as Seabourn, we are a true one-to-one guest ratio to crew when you're on board. So you always have someone there to really make sure that your clients are taken care of in a very passionate way whenever they need some assistance or whenever they need something while on board. So with Seabourn, we have what we call our signature moments as well in some of our different places. So when we're in places like the Caribbean or the Mediterranean, we have options what we call there our Marina Day. So you see up there in that top left picture, that's there. And when we're hanging out in the marina, and those ocean liner cruises, the 450 and the 600 passenger ships are actually built to design to launch these water sports like kayaks and you see the banana boat and the paddle boards right off the back of the ship. So it's really really convenient for your clients and they have a really great unique experience. And then we also have an additional optional excursion, which is shopping with a chef, which especially when we're doing our European itineraries and you're getting to go through the markets of like Spain or the markets of France and get to see where our chefs are actually picking all their fresh, locally sourced cuisine. You're getting a really unique experience. And then with Seabourn, we have what we call either caviar in the surf or caviar on the ice, depending on where you are in the world. So if you're in our cold destinations like Alaska or Antarctica, you're going to get caviar on the ice. So we're going to bring you out there while you're like standing on the glaciers or having your penguin experience in Antarctica. We'll actually bring you caviar on the ice so you can actually enjoy it out there as well with that champagne. And then if you're in places like the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, those warm destinations, while we're hanging out by the beach or those marina days, we'll actually bring you caviar on the surf on a surfboard. So we'll kind of bring it out to you. You'll have the caviar and the champagne right there on a surfboard brought out to you so you can enjoy it while you're kind of wading in the water, which is really, really amazing. And then we also have things like our polar plunge when we're in our colder destinations. And then when we're in the Mediterranean and we're visiting in Ephesus, we actually shut down the historical site of Ephesus one evening just for our guests. And we have a concert there at that evening, a nighttime concert there where everything is shut down again just for our guests. You're getting a really unique experience of that archaeological site in Ephesus. And then just a little bit about us. We do Seabourn. We do go to all 7 continents. So wherever your clients are really looking at going into the world, we really have something for them. So now I'll just go into some of our itineraries that we have on Seabourn to show you some of those destinations. So this is our 14-day Alaska Glacier Fjords and Inside Passage. This one's taking place next year on June 12th of 2026, and it's round trip out of Vancouver on the Seabourn Encore. This is a really great itinerary because you're going to be getting especially because you're in one of these smaller ships, you're getting really close up into some of these places like Glacier Bay, Rudyard Bay, and the Wrangell, and some of these places you can't even get to on some of the larger ships, say with like Holland America. But we do a lot of other stuff, like I mentioned, like we do have our Mediterranean ones. So this is like one of our Mediterranean itineraries where it's the Mediterranean islands. It's going to be starting off, it's going to go from Venice to Dubrovnik, and it's going to be on September the 6th on the of 2026 on the Seabourn Quest. And this is our 21-day Ephesus, Adriatic, Grecian gems, and Dalmatian coast. And so this is going to be the ones where you're getting some of those Seabourn moments, like the night at Ephesus, the caviar and the surf, and those marina days to really make sure your clients are having a unique and unforgettable experience when they're with us in Europe. And now I'm just going to touch a little bit on that Seabourn expedition difference as well. So because I think these are really what's going to set us apart in the cruise industry, and because of these ultra luxury experience, you're getting that ultra luxury service while you're on board, but also taking in expeditions to some of these beautiful areas, like I mentioned, like the Kimberleys, the South Pacific. You can see like here, kind of in the South Pacific, where these submarines are, and you can see that marine life from down below. And of course, while you're on board these seaborne expedition ships, you're going to have those expedition team members of up to 26 people. You're going to have that ultra luxury experience while you're on board. And again, all these ships are built with PC6 ice breaking hulls. So they're designed to go to Antarctica and Alaska and break through the ice. So your clients have nothing to worry about. And of course, we got those 24 Zodiacs, the 8 double sea kayaks. And especially when we're in places like Antarctica, almost everything is included for like the excursions. There's only a few different things on these expeditions that your clients have to worry about in regards to their excursions. So this is just kind of just a little bit of something they might experience. So this is, of course, some of our kayaks and that 6-person submarines. And then I'll go into just a little bit of some of our featured sailings on the expedition. So this is one of our expeditions that we would do to the South Pacific. This is on the Seabourn Pursuit on April 2nd of next year from Santiago to Papeete. And this is their 19-day Eastern Iron Pitcairn Island. So this is going to be one where if your clients are taking advantage of those 6-person submarines, they're going to be able to see those sea turtles and the marine life from underneath the water. And it's going to be something that they'll never forget. So this is another one we have. This is our 21-day Antarctica, South Georgian Island, and Falkland Islands. This one's coming up at the end of this year, December the 16th of 2025 on the Seabourn Pursuit. This is one of the ones where you're going to get one of those experiences where you're going to be able to get like the caviar on the ice. But of course, also this is going to include some of those king penguin experience. So you're going to get that opportunity to almost look like you're having a conversation with the king penguins and get really up and close and personal with them as well. Here is our 10-day Kimberley Waterfalls and Wanyas. So this is on August 4th of 2026 of next year, and this is on the Seabourn Pursuit. And this is Darwin to Broome, and this is, of course, on the northwestern coast of Australia, up there in the Kimberleys. So this is a really great itinerary because, again, you're going to be with our expedition experts, and you're going to be going to Australia. We're going to see all this different wildlife, and you're going to have our expedition team members to really teach you about them and understand where you're going in the world. And then I also just want to touch base because I kind of mentioned this one as well. So this is our one that goes from the northern part of Canada, from Iceland over to Anchorage. And this one is 34-day Iceland, Greenland, and Northwest Passage. This one's going to go through the Arctic Circle. So if your clients are looking at trying to get that Arctic Circle knocked off their bucket list, this is a great itinerary for them. And again, there's nothing to worry about because we have those ice-breaking hulls while on board our expedition ships. And then we also do world cruises as well with Seabourn too. So next year we're going to be doing so this is our 2027 World Cruise. Next year in 2026, we also have one as well that's called the Ring of Fire, but this one is for 2027, which is our Australia and South Pacific panorama. So this one's going to be round trip out of Miami starting on January 5th of 2027, ending on May 30th of 2027. And this one's going to go for 67 destinations in 19 countries. Of course, we have a lot of different options in regards to segments as well. So if your clients aren't able to take an entire 145-day journey, I completely understand that. We have shorter segments of 34 days, 51 days, and stuff along those lines, so your clients can get maybe just a segment of the world that they're looking at getting with us on this voyage. And then just going to kind of look at what we call our Seabourn moments when you're on board with us. So this is kind of one of those zodiac moments when you're looking up, getting up closer with the glaciers. This is what we call one of our expedition moments. These are these moments that we really want to make sure that they set aside, that we highlight to make sure your clients never forget when they're on board with Seabourn. This is another one that I kind of touch base on just a little bit. So you can see the man here. He's having this conversation with it kind of looks like he's having this conversation with these two penguins. You have the one that's kind of leaning in, talking to him, and the other one's kind of behind him, like, what are you doing talking to this guy in this orange jacket? So these are these moments that we really want to make sure that your clients have when they're on board. But maybe it's doing the polar plunge in Antarctica is what their moment would be, or kayaking through the marine life in the South Pacific so they can really get to see all of this marine life up close and personal. Or maybe it's when we're in some places like Norway or Scandinavia or the Mediterranean, where your clients are sitting here in the hot tub and just enjoying the majestic views they have from the back of the ship right here on the back. So these are all what we call these Seabourn moments that we really try to highlight with you for your clients. So thank you. This is just a little bit about Seabourn. So now I'm going to go into our Holland America as well, so we can really touch base on that too. So Holland, now I'm going to touch base on our Holland America. So we went over Seabourn, which is our ultra luxury style yacht cruising. And now we're going to go over to Holland America, which is our premium style cruising, which is anywhere from 1,400 passenger ships up to the 2,600 passenger ships. And these ships have all of the big ship amenities that you would want on board, but in a much smaller capacity. So we can get into some of those the smaller ship feel that your clients don't want, but we can still get into some of those smaller destinations as well. So just a little bit about Holland America. We've been in the industry since 1873. So we've been cruising for over 150 years, and we've really built an expectation and a background of being experts in long haul voyages. So those voyages that really kind of take a little bit longer. And we've really built an emphasis, really built a background on providing world-class dining, personalized service, and a plethora of entertainment really at your clients' fingertips when they're embarking on a journey of a lifetime with us. And you'll see this experience, you'll see this tagline whenever you're with Holland America. So one, you'll see the campaign is Savor the Journey, and I'll go into a little bit what that is here in a second, but then you'll see experiences with us are just too good to hurry through. And we really just mean what that kind of is with Holland America, we really want your clients, when they're on board with us, to be able to relax, rejuvenate, and reset. And then we really want them to have experiences that they truly savor when they're on this journey with us. And then you've noticed that kind of with that Savor the Journey, we've added the U back into Savor. And why have we done this? Well, really, it's in everything. It's in service to our guests. It's a promise to the mariners to put them at the heart of everything we do, to make sure that those experiences again are just too good to hurry through. And because we are originally a European country, it's just adding a little bit of that European heritage and elegance to our promise, Savor the Journey. And then just since everything does start with our guest here at Holland America, I'm just going to go into a little bit about a guest that you typically see on board with us. So with Holland America, typically the guests that you're going to see on board is our unwinding silvers, our relaxing couples, our empty nesters, our adult families, and those families with kids. So really, the common ground between all these different segments that you're going to see on board with us is you're looking for, when people are going on Holland America, they're looking to be taken care of on a well-planned vacation in a friendly, secure environment, and they're really looking to relax, reset, and rejuvenate, like I mentioned. And we do have families with kids, and we do have a kids program on board that's broken up into 3 different age groups for your kids as well. However, typically you're going to mostly only see those families with kids in places like Alaska, the Caribbean, or the Mexican Riviera, especially during those summer months or those vacation times. Otherwise, typically our guests are going to go a little bit more towards the kind of like the unwinding silvers and the relaxing couples, people who are really trying to relax, reset, and unplug and looking to reconnect with each other in the world as well. So now I'm just going to go over a little bit about what we call the pillars of our Savor the Journey campaign. So really what the pillars of our Savor the Journey campaign is, it's our onboard programming, our destination programming, our culinary experience, and then the service our clients are going to get on board with us as well. So like I mentioned, we've been in the industry for over 150 years with Holland America Line. Recently, up until 2024, we had just won the Best in Service award with Cruise Critic for 3 years in a row. On Holland America, we do have a 1 to 2 crew to guest ratio as well. So we still really have great anticipatory service while you're on board with Holland America. And even some of the smaller ships get about 1.8 to 1.7 1 to guest crew ratio. And then of course we also have twice daily turndown service, and then we have specialists on board to really give them recommendations on what kind of journey or what type of excursions to take to really enhance and tailor that journey or voyage to whatever they want, whether they're looking at trying to get an in-depth look at the history, the culture, or take a culinary journey, or if they're looking to really get in touch with the nature and the wildlife of where we're going. And of course, with Holland America, we believe that our mariners really are story collectors. So they're looking at trying to connect with the world, with each other in the world. And because of that, we've really tried to make sure that we carefully craft our itineraries. When we go to over 400 ports across 114 countries and into all 7 continents, we've recently just partnered with the History Channel to launch some History Channel itineraries. And we've really tried to make sure that we've put an emphasis on more time in port, select overnight stays, and we've even added a lot of pre and post cruise overland tours and shore excursions for your clients as well. And of course, we do, like I mentioned, partner with not only the History Channel, but National Geographic and more as well. And now I'm just going to touch base a little bit on what those History Channel curated itinerary and shore excursions are. So these are the ones that we currently have launched for 2026 and 2027, which is our ancient empires in the Mediterranean, the Viking homelands and the Arctic encounters in Northern Europe, the Klondike Gold Rush in Alaska, World War II, Hawaii, Asia, and doing a transatlantic journey. And then we also have the Leeward Island expansion, which goes to the Caribbean, and then transiting a modern marvel, which is the Panama Canal. So these are the ones that we just currently have launched already, but in 2026 and 2027, we're going to be further fleshing out this relationship and this partnership with the History Channel to provide even more shore excursions and more carefully curated itineraries with them as well. But not, of course, the journey is very important, but so is so the journey, the destination is important, but so is the journey. So with that, we like to say our ships on board are what we call perfectly sized ships because you have all the amenities that you'd want, but we can get into some of those smaller destinations, and you never feel like you're being overcrowded or waiting in lines or anything when you're on board with Holland America. We have a comfortable, traditional, elegant European design and feel when you're on board. We've brought back a lot of new and returning traditions like our live stream performances, our orange party, our sail away parties, and our farewell dinners as well. And then we have some truly remarkable music on board, which are BB King Blues Clubs, where you'll see people dancing the night away. Our billboard on board, which will have our dueling pianos throughout the night, and then our Rolling Stone Lounge, which will all be all of our modern hits played by a live band. But it's more than just like that kind of entertainment. We also have programming on board for like instructor-led Tai Chi. We are an official pickleball sponsor of cruising, so we have pickleball courts on all of our ships, and we do have pickleball tournaments and classes as well. We do trivia, game shows, comedy shows, traditional opera singers will bring on board, and then you'll have your also traditional song and dance performances too from places like the Step One Dance Company and stuff along those lines to really give your clients a unforgettable experience when they're on board with us. And again, we just have some of those theme parties. If your clients are looking, we have theme parties while you're on board. If your clients are looking at trying to celebrate a one of kind experience, maybe like a multi-generational family get together or anything along those lines, we have a lot of different programming for them on board as well and different options for them. And we do a lot of classes and workshops to really help your clients get the most out of their onboard too. And then again, just touching a little bit based on those activities that I mentioned, we have dance lessons, arts and crafts, pickleball lessons and tournaments, and then a lot of sports and activities for your clients too. And then we truly have world-class spa and fitness facilities as well. And then also the great thing about it is you can see the spa, but you can see how all of our cardio machines are pushed up right against the window as well. So so really all of our ships are designed for scenic cruising, but we also make sure that we put that even into some of the places like the gym and everything. So when your clients are like, say, doing their morning cardio, they're getting a great scenic experience. So like, for example, for me, when I was on a cruise in Alaska just recently, I was doing some morning cardio on one of the treadmills, and I looked out to my right and I saw a killer whale jumping through the water, and that's something I will never forget because that was a really remarkable experience. So even when your clients are again doing something like in our wellness and fitness experience or fitness areas, they're getting a scenic experience, and we're really trying to make sure that they're getting the most out of their journey. So like I mentioned, all of our ships are built for seamless cruising. So you can see how this very front of the ship is built for your clients to be able to get right up against there. And then you can see it also, we have that second level right there too on right above it. And then up here on the top levels on either decks 11 or 12, we have a walk around area for your clients to walk around at. And then down here, right where you see all those orange lifeboats on the side of the ship, that's also another walk around deck for your clients to walk around too. So wherever they're at the ship, they'll be able to find somewhere to walk around and really make sure they're getting a great experience and a great view with us too. And then just kind of going over the size of our ships, they go range anywhere from about 1,400 to 2,700 passengers. And we have 11 different ships, 4 ship classes, 9 staterooms, and 7 different suites as well. So looking at our ships, we have our largest ship, which is our Pinnacle class ships, which is the Rotterdam, Koningsdam, and New Statendam, about 26 to 2,700 passengers. Our Signature class, which is about 2,100 passengers. Vista class, which is about 1,900, and then our Rotterdam, which is our smallest, at about 1,400. And then kind of I mentioned we're bringing back some of those onboard experiences and we're returning them and bringing them back like live cooking shows, Royal Dutch Tea, and Indonesia Dutch Tea, nightly turn down service. We've really revamped our onboard library as well. And then really made sure that we've brought back some of that live music in the ocean bar and then also after dinner mint service as well. And then some of the new experience that I kind of mentioned and touched base on, we have our pickleball courts on board. We have our orange party, which is really, you see people dressed up a little more elegantly here, but anybody will wear anywhere from, say, maybe a sports jersey to an orange shawl or something. So the orange party is really just kind of a more relaxed thing that you just put a little bit of an orange flare on. We do make sure that on board of all of our ships, we really have some really up close presentations on our world stage to really give you a feel for the destination you're going to. And of course, you see right down here at the bottom in the middle is the guy holding our fish is our global fresh fish program. And then we also have partnered with Morimoto to bring his sushi on board. So Morimoto is a Michelin star chef, Michelin star sushi chef from around the world, and we've partnered with him to bring on some of his stuff on board with us too. And with us, dining on Holland America is very important to us. So, like I mentioned, we're the only we're the only we're the only cruise line that has what we call a global fresh fish program, which is 80 varieties of fish from 60 different ports to the ship within 48 hours. And we're the only cruise line that's also triple certified in sustainably sourced seafood. So we're really passionate about making sure that we provide amazing seafood for your clients, but also making sure that we're doing it in a very safe and healthy way that really has sustainability for the future of the marine industry. Here's just a little bit of some of the things that your clients would get on board when it comes to our dining experience. So like our New Zealand green-lipped mussels, pavlova fresh meringue, and then a barramundi steak as well. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of a teaser trailer right here real quick.
For the art of leisurely travel. A taste of Europe's iconic landmarks. And a taste for locally sourced and artfully prepared dishes. With experiences too good to hurry through. There are many ways to experience Europe, but only one way to truly savor it. Holland America, savor the journey.
All right, thank you. So now I'm going to go into a little bit about the destinations we go to. So with Holland America, we actually are the original cruise line, the first cruise line ever to be sailing in Alaska. We've been going there for over 75 years. We're actually coming up on our 80th anniversary in 2027, actually. So we've actually been going there since 1947. And we are the #1 cruise line for Alaska wildlife and wilderness tours. And we're the only cruise line to have a glacier guarantee as well. So what I just the top reasons to sail with Holland America, Alaska. So just like I mentioned, the wildlife and wilderness tour, our Alaska Glacier Guarantee. We have a really in-depth, unique Yukon experience that really brings you into the heart of the Klondike Yukon territory for a really unforgettable experience. We have what we call our We Heart Alaska programming, which is our 360-degree destination programming, which is everywhere from bringing wildlife experts on board when we're in like Glacier Bay and everything along those lines, to having cocktails made with with glacier ice from the Alaskan glacier and just brought on board. So we're having those glacier cocktails, having a partnership with Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center and everything. And then when we're, again, like I mentioned, we're in Glacier Bay, we'll have those wildlife experts bring on like the pelts from the animals, like the otters, the moose, the bear, and everything. So your clients can even get to touch and get a tactile feel for what the wildlife would be like. And of course, we really try to put an emphasis on that fresh local seafood. And then we do have a premium rail experience and immersive Denali experience whenever you're doing those cruise tours with us too. So this is just Glacier Bay right here on the left. And then this is our personally owned Holland America Denali Lodge. This was used to be named McKinley Lodge, but is now known as the Holland America Denali Lodge. And like I mentioned, we have what we call we like to say with Holland America, you can see glaciers either by land, air, or sea. So you have options either going dog sledding or hiking up to the glaciers. We have excursions for you to either go kayaking or go up on a small ship to get closer up to the glaciers. And then we even have helicopter tours over to the glaciers as well. And then we are the only cruise line that has a glacier guarantee as well. So what this is we guarantee that your clients are going to have some type of glacier experience while they're on board with us and some type of scenic cruising experience. So this one right here is in Glacier Bay. And if they, for some reason, if like weather permitting or some reason they don't get that experience, or the ship isn't able to get that experience, we will provide a 15% future cruise credit for your clients to take on another cruise with us. And this is just some of the wildlife that your clients would see on board that we really try to highlight. So like the grizzly bears, the caribou, the humpback whales, the sea otters, the gray wolf, the Dall sheep, and then you can see the moose here as well. And then again, when you're on board and we're going to places like Glacier Bay, and we have our wildlife experts on board, they'll bring all these animal pelts on board so you can actually get to experience what they feel like too. Here's some of our shorter itineraries. This is some of our 7-day itineraries to Alaska. So this is our Alaska Explorer, the Glacier Discovery, and Alaska Inside Passage. So you're really getting to some of these great places like Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway, and all of these different itineraries, and getting to places, going to those places like Glacier Bay, where you're waking up, having your morning coffee, and you're surrounded by just majestic glaciers all around you. So whenever you're waking up in Glacier Bay that day, go ahead and set your alarm, wake up early, and have that morning coffee while you're looking at those glaciers is something your clients will never forget. These are just some of our longer itineraries. So this is our 14-day Great Alaska Explorer. And then in 2026, we're actually introducing our new 28-day Arctic Circle Solstice journey as well. So this will take place, of course, during the summer solstice. This will be on June 7th of 2026 on the Nordam. And this will actually go above the Arctic Circle. We're the only cruise line that stays in Alaska that doesn't leave Alaska, that goes above the Arctic Circle. And you'll actually be able to go to places like Nome, so you can get an overview of like the Iditarod and learn a lot about that too, for like the Iditarod, which is of course the original Husky racing. I'll just do a quick teaser on Alaska cruise tours. And so, of course, with Alaska, you can only see about 10 to 20% of Alaska by cruising. To really get the most of it, you really need to do a cruise tour to get into the heart of it, to learn and get to experience the rest of Alaska. So why do a cruise tour with us to Alaska? We own everything on land, so we have a luxury rail experience, complimentary Denali tours on all of our land journeys. We go deeper into the Yukon territory than any other cruise line. You'll get to experience at least one UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we really try to make sure we put an emphasis on the Alaska wildlife so you get to experience it. So we've really always been one of the best in cruising in Alaska, but we're really trying to also be the best in Denali as well. So over the next couple of years, in 2025, this year, we've really focused on revamping the outdoor space. 2026, we're going to be remodeling 48 rooms and opening and completing a new coffee shop and remodeling the Karstens Public House as well, and doing just a little bit more outdoor seating to provide some more immersive experience. And in 2027, we're actually going to be adding an entirely new guest building as well, with 120 suites and deluxe rooms, and then finishing a main renovation of the lodge and adding a new restaurant too. And then here is just a little bit of an overview picture of the Dawson City, which is in Yukon, which with us, you have up to 2 or 3 nights in Dawson City. And whenever we're going to Dawson City with Holland America, we do include complimentary Klondike Gold tours, historic journeys through the White Pass and Yukon Route Railway. You will also be with our expert insights from local tour directors, who will take the land journey with you as well to really help you understand the destinations. And again, we'll have up to 2 overnight stays at the Holland American Dawson City Inn. So this is just one of our newer itineraries. So this is our 13-day Alaska, Denali, and Yukon cruise tour, which is Fairbanks to Alaska. And this is on the New Amsterdam and Westerdam. So we also have a little bit of variations of those cruise tours as well. So you see, this is our Alaskan Denali. So this one is going to include a 7-day glacier discovery cruise, plus either 3 nights in Denali, either 1, 2, or 3 nights in Denali, and then you also have some other options for 1 night each in either Anchorage or Seward as well. And then, of course, with a lot of the Alaska cruise tours, you do have options of either doing land first or cruise portion first. I always suggest doing the land portion first if you're a little unsure, because it's going to be the most physically exhausting, because you're going to do a lot of hiking, going a lot into the nature and stuff along those lines. So if you're a little undecided, do the land portion first, wear the body out, have them come back on the cruise, get a massage, relax, rejuvenate, and that way they're really reset and ready to go when they come back home from their cruise tours. Here's just a little bit of a longer one of some of our cruise tours. So we either have our 7-day Denali and Yukon, 11 and 12-day Denali and Yukon, and then our 9-day Denali and Yukon, which all have some type of either a 7-day glacier or Alaska Inside Passage cruise, plus of course that land package as well. So I am going to touch base a little bit on Europe as well. Since we are originally a European country, I just also want to mention some other different options with Europe, because if your clients have been to Alaska a couple times, Northern Europe's a great next option for them too. So with some of the reasons to cruise with Holland America in Europe. So we do, like I mentioned, really carefully craft those itineraries. We visit over 175 different UNESCO World Heritage Sites when we're in Europe. We have a lot of immersive shore excursions, extended port stays. We really try to make sure we put an emphasis on those fresh local flavors. And of course, we have those smaller, perfectly sized ships and get to some of those smaller sections of Europe as well. So just a little bit of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And then, of course, we do put an emphasis on especially some of those European traditions while we're in Europe, like the Royal Dutch Tea, the Mint and Ginger service, our Dutch Day and Orange Party as well. And like I mentioned, Northern Europe is a great next place for your clients that they've been to Alaska a couple of times and looking for kind of the next step. Because when you're in places like up there in like Scandinavia and Norway, you're still getting the absolute beauty and majesty of those glaciers, the fjords, and the landscape. But then you're getting that little bit of a different feel with being in Europe. So this is really a great next step for them if they're looking for something after they've gone to Alaska, or something that has a little bit of that Alaska feel in regards to the landscape, but just a little bit more of a different feel in regards to the cities and towns that you're going to. So this is our 7-day fjords. Almost all of our cruises in the northern part of Europe do round trip out of Rotterdam. And here's some of our longer ones as well. So either our 13 or 14-day fjords, our 14-day Baltic and Scandinavian capitals, our 14-day Arctic Circle crossing, or our 14-day Wild British Isles and Glasgow overnight stays. I mean, we do also do some Northern Lights cruises as well. So this is our Arctic Journey and Northern Lights cruise, which also takes you above the Arctic Circle. So if you're looking at getting that knocked off your bucket list, this is a great journey. And then, of course, we have a couple of different sailing dates for your clients so they can take a Northern Lights cruise, which is a really unforgettable experience. And then we also have some solar eclipse cruises as well. So this one's taking place, this right here is highlighting our new legendary 35-day Voyage of the Viking, which is also on the solar eclipse. But if your clients aren't maybe looking at doing something that long, or if they're not looking at maybe doing the northern part of Europe during the solar eclipse, we also have a 13-day Mediterranean solar eclipse with Barcelona overnight. So if your other clients are looking for a little bit more of a cooler weather while doing the solar eclipse and going to like Iceland and Greenland, or if they're looking for something a little more warmer weather during the solar eclipse, like going to the Mediterranean and Lisbon and Barcelona and France and Athens and Rome, we also have something through the Mediterranean for them as well. And these are just some of the featured ports that we have in the Mediterranean. So this is, of course, Puglia and Las Palmas. And these are some of our itineraries that we have. So this is our 7-day itinerary, 7-day Western Mediterranean, Italian, France, and Gibraltar. And then, of course, we have the Mediterranean Splendors, which is Malta and Greek Isles, the Mediterranean Marvels, ancient Egyptian and Greek Isles, and then Corfu, Sicily, and Spain on the Mediterranean Splendor. So the Mediterranean is really where we get to really highlight that kind of that culinary experience you get on board with Holland America, because as you're going to all these different ports, the onboard cuisine is actually going to somewhat change to match what the next destination is going to be like. So your clients are also taking a culinary journey with it when they're on board with us as well. Just a little bit, some of those more Mediterranean journeys, like our 7-day Mediterranean Marvel, 7-day Iberian Idol, and then 7-day Western Mediterranean, Italy, France, and Gibraltar. I'll just do one more last quick teaser on Europe for you guys.
History of literature and the art of leisurely travel. From fresh local flavors to iconic service, you'll discover experiences too good to hurry through. Savor the journey with Holland America.
And then the last thing I want to touch base on today is just a little bit of our grand voyages, because they are introducing our new Mariners collection, which are ports only available on these grand voyages. So what is a grand voyage? A grand voyage is our 60-day plus itineraries that really where we get to highlight some of the more unique destinations we go to. So like I mentioned, we have really carefully crafted itineraries. When we do these grand voyages, we also have exclusive onboard programming just for these. Authentic cultural experience, our destination dining to really get the most out of these destinations we're going to, our personalized service, and then like I mentioned, those new Holland America Mariners collection ports too. So we have two different grand voyages that are going to be taking place. We have either a 2027 Grand World Voyages, which is 6 continents, 28 countries, and 53 ports. And that is round trip out of Fort Lauderdale, as you can see. And then we also have our 2027 Grand South America and Antarctica Voyage, which is 2 continents, 13 countries, and 31 ports. And this one is also round trip out of Fort Lauderdale as well. This is our Grand World Voyage, kind of just a little bit more of an overview of it. So you can see it starts over here in Fort Lauderdale before coming down here through the Panama Canal, going through the South Pacific, up through the northern part of Australia, through the Indian Ocean before coming through the south of Africa, up through the western part of Africa and Europe before coming back over here to the back home to the United States. And again, it's also featuring a lot of those Mariners collection ports, which I mentioned, which are ports that we only go to while we're in these destinations. So it's stuff like Easter Island in Chile, Bora Bora, so Namibia. So all these different places that we're going to, the Maldives, these are on these grand voyages are only ports that we ever do on these grand voyages. So we really, of course, like I mentioned, we have the whole grand voyage, but we also have different segments your clients can take with us as well. So I know that was a lot of information. I went over both Seabourn and Holland America, but I do want to say thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate you giving me the time to go over and really get to teach you and kind of share my excitement for these destinations that we go to, because I believe it's really about finding what cruise line best fits your clients. And I feel like with Seabourn and Holland America, we have very different, but also great options for your clients to really get the most of whatever type of journey they're looking or voyage they're looking for with us.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Preston. And also, if you guys have any, I know there's some questions in chat right now, but if you guys have any questions that don't get answered today, make sure that you check out the website, the TA portal, because a lot of questions can be answered there. And also don't hesitate to reach out to us at Archer Travel, or if it's something that is unique and you need an answer to that question, you can always reach out to Preston as well. We do have a couple questions. Would you be able to answer those right now, Preston?
Absolutely. As long as you have time, I have time.
Perfect. Okay. So one of the questions is, my clients have already cruised Alaska, but they haven't done the land or Denali portion yet. Does Holland America just have an Alaska land tour, or what do you have?
We only have cruise tours, so we don't have anything that's going to be land portion only. So if they're looking at going back to Alaska, We do have some of those shorter cruise journeys that would only be like maybe 3 or 4 days cruise, and then maybe like a 7 day, anywhere from like a 4 to 7 day land portion. But unfortunately, we don't have anything that's only land portion.
Perfect. And we had a couple questions on the marketing tools and then the certification. And I just want to let you guys know, if you missed the session yesterday, we did that in the sales and marketing lab where we talked about the benefits of the certification as well as the marketing tools and everything they have for you. So I would say to go back and review that. But really quickly, Preston, do you want to just talk about the benefits of the certification courses?
Absolutely. So not only do you get some onboard credits for yourself to travel agent whenever you travel with us, but you're also going to get CLIA credits awards to use towards your certification with CLIA or ACTA if you're in Canada as well. And then we also provide certificates for not only you to be to tag so certifications, and then also like little taglines to put in your email signatures as well to show that you are an expert with Holland American Seabourn. But with Holland America, we actually also have destination expert courses, so you can actually get also certified in specific destinations with Holland America to go a little bit above and beyond.
That's absolutely wonderful. And you don't offer a free cruise, right, when you finish the program?
No, we don't, unfortunately.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I thought, but someone asked it in chat and I said I would ask. The next question is, does anyone know Holland's birth country? I finished my platinum certification this morning and that was the one I learned, I guess she was saying. So I guess she was just asking everyone. Sorry, I thought that was a question for you. But I think I know it because I think you said it during the webinar today.
No,
And
we're originally a Dutch company, yes.
perfect, Dutch. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Preston, for joining us. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions or think of anything else, don't hesitate to reach out, and we are here to help you. Preston, thank you again. We appreciate you being here throughout this week. We also have more Holland America line and Seabourn things coming to you throughout this week, so just stay posted on our socials, as well as join us for the weekly recap on Friday. Preston, is there anything else you want to add before we close out?
No, but I just want to say again, thank you, Amanda, for having me today. We really appreciate it. And I think y'all are doing your groups training later today with Holland America as well. Really try to make sure you join that with them as well, because we really have some great group programs, whether you're looking at small or large groups with Holland America, to really get that going for you guys as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Preston, and thank you everyone for joining us. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.